And we have
You can see
transitioned.
my screen in the background.
Hello, everyone. I'm very bright. I am a bright
Are you though?
man.
You know
I'm.
what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the movie Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby.
Let's not talk about
this
that. but
is just, I just thought it was funny because it's like right now Ian reminds me of Bill Cosby.
oh no, 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 no.
Shall we explore these feelings you're having?
Welcome, everyone, to welcome to the JCU Podcast, or the Ian, Jim, and Sean talk about things. Nathan might join us, but he's also currently flying through the air on a giant piece of metal powered um, by what is it? Jet fuel.
Dinosaurs.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Anyway, so. Well, welcome. We are meeting again because we used to do this on Sundays, and we're going to do this on Sundays again. This is the JCU podcast where me and the JCU crew just come out here and talk and catch up. Just catching up, JCU. That's what that means. I'm Ian. As you might know, I do this thing. I have a YouTube plaque. It's right over here. I'm touching it. That is Sean, right up there. Say hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
And that is Jim over there. Say hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
All
Hi,
right,
Jim.
so, and yes, there's a beam of light coming through the window. My room does not have blinds for some reason. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
There's a very good reason because you didn't put them in. That's the reason,
Yeah, you gotta put those in to have them.
yes, that
Mhm.
that is true.
or at least a curtain.
Yes, and also I am not playing Pokemon Heart Gold right now.
I'm also not in the same location that I have always been for these.
No, Sean is in a new location. Sean
Yes.
has moved to a new apartment.
No.
No, I know.
House.
He actually has a house. He's one of the few people who can. Collective Effervescence says hi, Sean.
Hello.
Do you know what the Thug
Doggo.
Shaker
I see
is?
Doggo.
Yes, there's a doggo right there.
I see Doggo. Doggo.
That's Snickers.
Snickers.
She came to the new house.
And I'm wearing a Tears of the Kingdom shirt that my wife bought me that I'm very happy with.
Sweet.
Wait, the shirt or the wife?
Both.
Oh, good.
Yes. So yes, gentlemen, what have you been doing for the past few weeks? What has been your agendas with the world of Vigigerms, movies, and Netflix?
Can you tell what's on my screen from that angle?
I see.
Sean might be able to tell.
It looks like a heartbeat.
I had to pause in the middle of a cutscene because I ran out of time, but well.
Oh, are you
So-
what? Are you playing Spider-Man?
Yeah. So
You're doing Spider-Man.
for the sake of our viewers, I started Spider-Man PS4 back in like mid-June, and I kind of got obsessed with it. Finished the game, did a hard mode replay, New Game Plus on the PS5 with the remaster version, and finished all the DLC last night around midnight. And I'm like, hey, great timing. I can go to sleep and be up early and be ready for my next things I gotta do today. Or I could start Miles Morales. Guess which of the two
Yeah.
things I chose to do?
Yeah.
Play
Miles
Miles
Morales.
Morales because Miles
Yeah.
Morales is a good game.
I gotta say, like, right off the bat, there's a lot of things that I can definitely tell. They're like, okay, we gotta fix some of this stuff. Some of the interface aspects, some of like just the benchmarks, for example, they now have a purpose, and you can see what's gonna happen with those. I love that it's happening on Christmas, just because they can use the whole. It's like you're still in all the same regions of New York, but it doesn't feel the same because it's all snowy and white, and the lakes in Central Park are frozen over, and it feels like they were able to do so much new without doing that much different, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a really good game. I enjoy it. I'm actually playing it on PC at the moment.
And I
just got past the bridge. Battle.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
a
my
good
gosh,
set
that was
piece.
so cool! So cool.
And I, of course, have been playing Resident Evil 4 Remake. I don't have this game on PC or Xbox at the moment. I'm one of the few people who actually owns an Xbox for some reason.
An Xbox Series X?
Yep.
Ah, yes.
Yes. It was given to me by my friend Alex as a wedding gift for me and my wife. She mostly just uses our PS4, and so I mostly just use the Xbox.
And for me, I've been in the hospital.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know if you wanted to mention that, but yeah.
For like forever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I got this cool cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it with me. Because I was like, look, if you're going to make me pay medical bills, I'm taking the cup.
Right. So...
How are you feeling, though? Are you doing well?
Yeah, I'm good. Apparently I had some kind of virus or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Some stomach issue. A thing with the stomach.
It was nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really nasty. It had me going for like... I was sick for probably like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, you were gone for a while. Like literally, the last time we did the podcast, it was like me, Jim, and Alex, and we were just chatting and stuff.
Nathan.
No, why did I say Alex? It's because I miss Alex. Alex is a good friend. But yeah. Like literally, we were just doing the podcast, and then after the live stream was done, you texted us going, "Oh, by the way, I'm in the hospital," and I'm like, "Whoa, huh? What happened? Are you okay?"
Yeah, that was a bit of a scare.
Yeah,
yeah, it was weird. Like I went to the hospital and they told me that it was my blood sugar, which was super high. I will admit that was kind of scary. But then when I came home from that trip, I immediately threw up. Like it's like this. I got home, I walked in the door, I drank a bottle of water, and I immediately threw up.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, that was not my first hospital, or that was not my only hospital trip. Mm-hmm. I went back to the same hospital like probably like 4 or 5 days later, and they just hooked me up with a IV. Gave me some nausea medicine, sent me home, and that didn't help. So, needless to say, after that, I was back in that hospital 2 days later, and after that, I went to my actual regular doctor, which is like, I'm currently in Maryland, so I had to drive all the way to Virginia to see my regular doctor, because that's where I used to work. And I saw them, and they were like, "Yeah, you should probably go back to the hospital." And I was like, "I just came from there." And they were like, "No, we're going to send you to a good hospital this time."
Oh, okay.
So for anybody who, is thinking about visiting the Maryland area, just know the hospitals in Maryland apparently suck. Because I went to the hospital in Virginia, and, oh, man, complete difference. They were like, "Oh, yeah, you have serious problems. We're going to actually admit you, not just leave you in the emergency room." So, they admitted me, and I swear, it was like almost like the very next day, I was like, "Oh, I'm already feeling better." And then they were like, "Yeah, now we're still going to keep you 2 more days."
It's like the difference between the hospitals in the Kansas City, Overland Park area and the hospitals in Lawrence, or the hospital in Lawrence.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's just because they don't have anybody there that recognizes what was going on, or they don't have the specialists to deal with it, or what. I don't know.
As someone who's had chronic stomach problems off and on for the last several years, that's one of the hardest organs to deal with, because your body basically, it can be anywhere from "you gave me a bad food" to "I'm imploding." And it can be anything, and the doctors just go, "Yep, it's something to do with your stomach." And I'm like, "Really?" Because there's pain here and here and here. They're like, "No, it's your stomach, it's causing problems." It's like,
yeah, I still have a cough from this whole mess, which apparently is related to my stomach, but at least it's like, they're like, "Yeah, but you're good." It's like, you're not throwing up anymore, so That's the key.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'm happy that you're okay, and please, yes, drink lots of water.
Me too.
And get some electrolytes, because from what I've read, like whenever it's stomach issues, you just gotta hydrate yourself. You gotta get water. It's very important.
Oh yeah. Because apparently I was so dehydrated that I was dizzy and couldn't walk. That's why when I went to the doctor the last time, they were like, "Yeah, you should go to the hospital." I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and call. We're just gonna go ahead and call the ambulance." I was like, "They're like, can you drive there?" They're like, "Nah, you can't drive there."
You can't drive. What are you talking?
I was like, it wasn't even me driving. It was my mom took me to the doctor because I couldn't drive, so she took me to the doctor. They're like, "Yeah, you can't drive him there. we're gonna call the ambulance." So I got to ride in an ambulance, which was fun. And they were really the whole experience. Honestly, was actually really nice. Actually, going to the hospital, it was I thought it was gonna be uncomfortable and crappy, but it was actually really cool. And I got to watch a lot. I got to watch a lot of TV. I got to watch a lot of TV, which I want to talk about.
So, real quick,
is anybody familiar with how many freaking cop shows are on TV?
Yes, there are 3 shows on There are 3 shows on television: cop show, doctor show, lawyer show, and then occasional some sort of a baking show and some sort of a music show. That's the 5 shows on TV.
And game shows.
Yeah, some of those.
But seriously, it's all. I think I watched a cop show. I think literally every hour of one day. I left. Between all the channels I flipped, I think I watched Castle, Law and Order, SVU, and NCIS. And I think that those 3 shows were literally the only thing I watched that entire day, because I just kept bouncing back and forth between I don't know why these channels do this, but they just play 8 episodes of each show back to back, nonstop for some reason. And by the time one block is done, the other block has started on the other channel.
I can tell you that as someone who used to work for a television station, a lot of those are probably put into a computer ahead of time, and they just play them automatically and hit the commercials automatically. And
I could tell.
Yeah. There's definitely some guy at a computer who gets paid probably maybe $15-$20 an hour, give or take. Puts all those into the computer and then just lets it run. And he's just there to make sure that the computer doesn't shut down or anything. He's told by his higher ups, these are the shows you have to put in. He's just we're just going to show these things again. We've already showed them. Now you're going to show these exact shows in this order and just let them play. It's they're not even consecutive episodes. I don't care that they're not consecutive episodes. You're going to let them play. We're showing season 1, season 7, then season 3, then the TV movie, and it's yes, that's exactly what we're doing in that order. We've already decided, just put them in.
Fortunately, I didn't have that problem. Okay. My episodes were in sequential order.
They're learning.
So I got to watch several season arcs of several different shows. So I had that, but they kept playing the same doggone commercials.
Yeah.
Every commercial break, literally, it was the same 5 commercials. So by the time I left the hospital, I was like, God dang it, I really want some Papa John's pizza. And then it was also, I really want some of these pancake tacos from IHOP.
Oh God, yes. Those show up all the time. Well,
and
see,
I also might need to think about calling Colonial Penn for life insurance.
It's my money and I need it now.
or a Liberty Mutual.
Oh yeah, that's.
Or I might need to contact Liberty Mutual.
See, maybe I'm just spoiled by streaming services. I don't think I could live with that. Like, it's just surfing through the schlock that's on TV nowadays, and I couldn't. I just turn the TV off at that point.
That's
and
my
be
thing.
alone with
I haven't watched TV in like years.
Oh yeah.
So when all I watch is like streaming services, right? So like I'm literally sitting there watching live TV. I'm like, how do people live like this?
It's not good.
It was like either that,
just turning on the channels and whatever happens to be on, that's what you're watching, I guess.
It was either cop shows or Teen Nick.
Oh man, what was on Teen Nick? Oh god.
Let's see what was on Teen Nick. Let's see here. Oh, it was a lot of a show called Henry Danger. Just a lot of that.
That's I might actually know what that is. Is that the one with like the superheroes in like the spotted costume, something like that?
It's like a from my understanding of the premise from the show, which they introduce every single opening. It's like the theme song of the show is basically this kid needed a part-time job and he went to go to this junk shop, and apparently at the junk shop there's a man, and that man is the result of a science experiment by his irresponsible father, which turned him into a superhero.
Danny Phantom.
No.
Oh. Not
Cyborg.
Danny Phantom.
No. So, his superhero name is Captain Man.
That I literally created a short film back in 2010 called Superhero Man as a parody, but Captain Man is his actual
Nickelodeon
name.
beat you to it.
No, they didn't. That show, I just looked it up. That show came out in 2014. They copied my idea.
So, and Captain Man takes this young child as his sidekick and gives him superpowers. And they transform into their super suits by chewing and blowing bubbles from bubblegum.
Of course. So this is sponsored by what, like Bubblicious or something?
Apparently it's sponsored by IHOP pancake tacos is what they're sponsored by.
By the way, we are not sponsored by IHOP.
See, what we apparently need to do, guys, is we got to watch BBC channels, because according to GTR 567, they don't show ads on BBC channels.
I would have loved to watch the BBC.
That's a thing.
That would have been
BBC
awesome.
America,
I could have actually watched some Doctor Who, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Found out what the fuss is about, but no. I
Yeah,
had to watch
Sean's
Henry
never
Danger.
seen Doctor Who, which blows my mind.
It's not that I haven't ever seen it. It's I've only seen several episodes, and I don't see what all the fuss is about.
Well, you need to see
because you've
more
only seen
than
a few
several.
episodes.
I saw
You know,
some
you
of the
need
episodes.
you need like a season arc or something. You know, you had to
I
like
saw a
go
couple
into it.
episodes
And,
with that one dude with the bald head, or the close shaved head, whatever his name is.
Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, that guy. And then I saw a couple of episodes with the dude who played Kilgrave and Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah, David Tennant.
David Tennant, yeah.
And then,
But see, that's the thing, though, Sean. You're talking about
that's
you've
it.
seen a few episodes of various Doctors. Again, it's like you don't like watch season 1 of TNG and then say, okay, I'm not watching Star Trek anymore. You just don't do that, right? You know, it's like you gotta like get a nice arc. You gotta like go through season 1 of Doctor Who or go through season 2 of Doctor Who. You know, watch a Doctor's. You know, and I don't know what to tell you, man. It's like every Doctor takes a few episodes to kind of find their footing and shape their character. But yeah, no, there's a reason it's been around for what, 60 years?
1963.
Yeah, I don't know.
It has been 60 years.
It just didn't grab me the same way that like for instance, Next Generation grabbed me.
Watching a random episode
with Next Generation, kind of just grabs you right by the balls. Like it's just like, hey, here's Encounter at Farpoint, and then next thing you know, here's some space Africans.
If you say that's what grabs you, then power to you.
of course, I was like, okay, here we go, Space Africans. This is great.
For those who don't know,
it can only go up.
He's literally describing one of, if not the worst episode of Star Trek.
I would argue I would argue it is absolutely the worst episode of Star Trek of any Star Trek series ever. I think it's worse than the entirety of Enterprise.
Ooh, wow, dang, that's a. I mean,
Enterprise has got some good stuff.
It does. Like,
exactly, that's my point.
Yeah.
Enterprise has good stuff. That episode is terrible.
After the first 2 seasons, Enterprise has some really good episodes. But yeah, Matter of
Enterprise.
Honor
Okay, I'm soapboxing this one because I've done this with Ian so many times in the past. Enterprise has some bullshit in season 1 and 2. Yes, it has some good stuff in there too. Season 3 was very ambitious with its Xindi arc, and I think it had more hits than misses. Yeah. Season 4 is good Star Trek. I don't care what anyone says. Season 4 Enterprise, there should have been a season 5. Mm-hmm. Ignore the finale, because that was a TNG episode, not an Enterprise episode.
And also
but otherwise, season 4 is good Star Trek. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Star Trek,
I put it above season 1 TNG easily.
Speaking of
Sorry if that's too low a bar.
Have you guys been watching Strange New Worlds?
I have not. I
haven't really seen any of the new stuff yet.
But I've watched Picard. I've watched Lower Decks. I saw a few episodes of Prodigy before it was taken off of Paramount for no good reason.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they canceled Prodigy and then took it off their streaming platform. You can't watch it anymore. At all. And
that's like, what?
Yeah, that's their own show, and they just took it away.
Like, I can't even, like, did they put it somewhere else?
Nope.
I picked this up from Best Buy the other day. I saw it there on sale, so I'm going to get around to checking out Strange New Worlds at some point, but really all I've seen is like season 1 and 2 of
Discovery.
Right, Discovery. Thank you, Ian. But you know what I have been watching? I also picked this up.
The Mario movie.
I love this movie.
We saw that in theaters. It was quite good.
Yep. I was so excited to finally get a copy. I love it.
Screw all the haters. Like, literally every single reviewer that I saw online, everyone was just like, "This movie's crap. It's awful. Yada yada." I'm just like, "What? Calm down, okay? First of all,
fun.
Yes, it is.
It's not trying to be the next Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's a fun movie about Mario." And it doesn't try to be anything more than it sets out to be. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
It sucks all right. Sucks all the way to the bank.
All right, so I want to address this real quick because GTR has brought this up a couple of times. He's asking, what happened with the old channel, with the guy who bought the old channel? He seemed to disappear after buying it. It got sold to a guy who streamed Fortnite and then never used it again. Has anyone ever tried to contact him? Here's the thing. No, no one knows what happened. I remember a few years back I tried to get in contact with them and nothing. Like, they didn't really get back to me. They didn't really chat with me, and I was just, no one really knows what happened with the old channel. It was purchased by a third party, and then there were some issues behind the scenes that I couldn't figure out how to work with them. They eventually fired me in June of 2018. And then just gone since. Like, no one really knows what's going on. So, yeah, GTR, we don't know. No one knows. No one knows how to get in contact with them.
No one knows.
No one knows what happened.
Every now and then I'll go back to the YouTube page and look into it, and I don't see, any information, new stuff, contact, like, just nothing.
Nope.
Yeah, the newest thing was like they streamed twice, I think, and that was it.
They made 2 100% honest episodes without me. Neither of which are
and
good.
they both were ass.
Yeah, neither of which are good.
One was about Roblox.
Yeah.
He says, I thought selling channels was banned on YouTube, even with third party?
No, you can sell channels.
Yeah, no, literally. Smosh just bought back their channel. Like the channel itself is an asset as part of a limited liability company or a or something else. Smosh, the thing that I was talking to Sean about this. Smosh recently purchased their channel back because way back when Smosh, a production company bought Smosh and then said, we're going to make a bunch of stuff, and then they did. Eventually, Anthony from Smosh kind of got really tired of it and wanted to move on, and so he did. Ian of Smosh, not me, a different Ian, stayed with the company. Eventually, they were bought out by Mythical, which is the Rhett and Link Good Mythical Morning, and recently, Ian and Anthony got back together and said, we want to kind of do stuff together again. They went to Mythical, Rhett and Link, and they said, we would like to purchase the rights to our channel back. And Rhett and Link said, yes, you can. And so they did. I don't know who owns the rights to Gaming Wildlife right now. I don't know if it's the same person who bought it in 2018. I don't know if it's someone else. I don't know how to get in contact with them.
We don't know who it is.
Yeah, we don't know. It would be...
if we knew who it was, we'd probably have reached out to them to get it back.
Yep.
Like Ian and Anthony over at Smosh. We'd probably have pulled a Smosh, but we don't know. So
what is...
Who cares?
What was the thing that they said earlier? Thug Shaker? What? You know what the Thug Shaker? I don't know. GTR was like, you still didn't tell us if you knew what the Thug Shaker is. I don't know what that is.
What? Thug Shaker?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, do you know what the Thug Shaker is? You didn't tell us if you knew what Thug Shaker is. Yeah. Somebody else asked if you got grippy socks and thin blankets, too. I'm guessing they mean from the hospital?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I took those, too.
And also
grippy socks sounds nice.
Sephiris, the original Gaming Wildlife crew. I've been a fan for so long, and because of this channel, I'm a fan of Sean as well. Love you guys. Yeah,
nice.
Glad to hear.
Thank you.
Sean's been a friend of ours literally for about 20 years now. I want to say.
Everyone should love Sean. Sean should get all the love.
Yes, Sean is great.
I appreciate all.
I don't know why I have a red nose, but I have a red nose now.
Because you are a clown.
Yes,
see, I known these guys since before Gaming Wildlife, back when we were Lone Road Productions, and we made terrible movies.
You can still
that are on YouTube right now. All you have to do is look up Lone Road Productions, and you'll find our terrible movies.
The problem is,
I wish I had I've still got my DVD of Voice in the Clock. I wish I had one of the sequel, because my death scene in the sequel was so much fun, and I want to see it again someday.
It was great. The issue with some of our old Lone Road videos, so that channel I still have access to. I can log on to Lone Road Productions if I want to. But the big issue is that some of the videos got copyright claimed because we were using copyrighted music, but this was before they just claimed
before you could even make a profit.
Yeah. Before you could claim monetization, what they did was they just cut the audio. And so a lot of our old videos have no audio on them because we used copyrighted music, and it wasn't there wasn't any other way to handle it.
Okay, I don't know who this Collective Effervescence is, but they just said don't tell them about Voice in the Clock.
Oh, I know who Collective Effervescence is. I know exactly who Collective Effervescence is. Perhaps they were someone who knows about the Voice in the Clock, who may have been involved with Voice in the Clock.
I'm sure I probably know who that is. I just don't know the username. Voice in the Clock, man, that was epic.
Dude, as somebody who was there for Voice in the Clock, I wasn't in the movie at all. I didn't I was just there. So I remember that. I remember that shoot. I remember. God, that was terrible. But it was so fun. It was so much fun making that movie. Nathan is a freaking genius.
He is. Nathan came up with some
Do tell them about voice.
So, Collective Effervescence Jim is, I believe, 2 people. One of them was in the first Voice in the Clock.
Oh, that's right. There were multiple ones.
Yes.
I completely forgot. There were multiple voices in the clock.
So yeah, Jim.
This person is 2 people? Now you confused me.
There's 2 people who have the account. Collective Effervescence. I don't know if they want us to name them on stream, but do you remember Voice in the Clock 1? Do you remember who was the antagonist of Voice in the Clock 1?
The clock?
Yeah, I mean, the clock alabaster, wasn't it?
Are you ready for the Zoomer generation to watch your channel? Yes.
Dude,
so
you know what? Go for it.
This is something I've had to come to terms with for the last decade, 7 years of doing videos with Ian, because I'm a teacher, and there's always been the concern of what if my students see these videos, and sometimes it's whatever, I just need to get over it. But a lot of the older stuff, the older GW stuff, man, nah. I was a cringy 20-something. I couldn't.
Yeah, I was a substitute teacher briefly, and I actually had students find my videos and they go, "Hey, Mr. Weaver, you got some good videos on there." And I'm like, I didn't know what to say other than, I don't know what you kids are talking about. And then I just left. Is it Rotsabla? No, it's Alabaster.
No, that was my response to their comment.
I know who that is. But yeah, they're
oh, dude, don't tell us you grew up with our old channel. You make us feel old.
Grew up, dude.
I grew up with that old channel.
Yeah, of course.
That makes fun of you. We never grew up.
Speak for yourself. I am married. Well, yeah, no, you're right. Oh, also, I could probably just show this, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be reversed, isn't it? But anyway, this says, presented to...
Oh, see, I can read it.
Yeah, presented to Ian Weaver of Gaming Wildlife for passing 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Yeah, I've got... This is
yeah, that's cool, and I'll get one for Geeks Welcome.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm trying! Jim, you have one, too. I gave you one.
Oh, yeah, it's packed up somewhere. I didn't unpack a lot of my stuff when I moved.
But yeah,
we'll get one for this channel, and I'll keep it somewhere on my new desk.
So the thing is that once you get a YouTube plaque, you can actually get in contact with the company that makes them, and you can make copies. So once we get the YouTube plaque, I can get one for me, one for Jim, one for Sean, and just anyone else who wants to be like, yes, we helped Geeks Welcome get up to 100,000. So I could do that. Yes,
we gotta go platinum.
Yeah.
I think I just realized who that is, by the way.
Yes,
hi.
I know. I've known this entire time. I know who.
Yeah, I know you know, but you wouldn't tell me.
Because
but they don't give a fuck.
Right, they don't care. Okay, it's our friends Damien and Dean.
Yeah, once you said it was like two people sharing an account, and I thought about it, like, oh, okay, yeah, I know who this is.
Yeah. But yeah, Elijah grew up with the old channel. Can I get one? I mean, we need to get one first. We need to actually.
I mean, yeah, tell your friends about the channel. So
yeah, and then also, Ian will give all of our followers copies of the plaque.
No, that is I can't promise that. There's the thing is, you have to pay for the plaques, and they're not cheap. Look. Here's
what I'll say. If we get to however many followers, right? We need to get a plaque, right? If you send us the money, we will send you a plaque.
Maybe. I can't promise that. Oh dear. Oh man. What?
Okay, so we can't promise that we'll send, but. If logistically speaking,
logistics, I suppose we could be able to, but yeah,
we might be able to send you a plaque if you send us the money for a plaque.
Oh yeah, and thank you, Saffris, for saying they loved my portrayal of the Rovio CEO, the 2000 Sega CDO, and Gabe Newell. Yeah, Gabe Newell. My dad literally talks about how, because my dad has done theater his entire life, and he's just like, apparently 2.1 million people have watched his video, and he's like, I can't get like that many. I've never had that many people come and see my theater performances. Like, that's more people than, and it's like, yeah, it's a significant amount of people. But yeah, I love. My dad was absolutely amazing as Gabe Newell, and I'm trying to figure out some kind of a script that I can do with him to do Steam again, because it would be fun to do another Valve episode. But there's not. I don't know what to say about Valve other than we're just trucking along. We're doing our own thing.
Maybe there's something you can do about the Steam Deck.
Yeah, we would have to talk about that. It would probably, like, in fact, that would be the entire video. The entire video is, this is what we do now. Although this is a Switch, like, basically he's just like, all the other industry people are trying to do this, they're trying to do that. We made this, and we have, like, 16 years of games on it, and you can just play whatever.
This is what we did instead of properly finishing the Half-Life series.
Yes.
Let me know if you need to borrow my Steam Deck.
I probably will. Because I don't have one, because I've got a Switch, but I can't afford a Steam Deck.
I'm not going to lie, I kind of regret buying it just because I've barely used it since I got it. Like, I downloaded a bunch of emulator stuff on there. I played through Portal again for the first time in years, realized that I'm getting old because I was literally getting sick from playing Portal.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Same here.
But,
I haven't used mine either. It's just it literally it was before I moved. It was literally sitting on my desk collecting dust.
Yeah. Did Scourge has an interesting point, like how Epic Games wasn't a threat. Look what we did to Origin and Uplay. Yeah, it's
just do Half-Life 3 jokes and then profit somehow.
Really, what I need to do is I just need to get my dad on camera again, because he's very good at this. As it turns out, when you have like 30 plus years of experience doing theater, you get really good at it.
Yeah, your dad's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I gotta give him credit. Your dad's pretty awesome.
But yeah, the Valve episode would essentially be like, Epic Games has Fortnite. Yes, we know how much money they make. We're Valve. We've been around forever, and we're not going away anytime soon. We're not doing the like Game Pass thing because we make too much money from our Steam sales.
We're Valve. We own all your games.
Yeah, we're Valve. You have 200 games through our system. We know you do. You haven't played 90% of them.
We own all your games.
Yeah.
You don't own them. We own them. You just license them through us.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it's like that would probably be part of the joke. Is just like, you have games through our software, and you haven't played 90% of them according to statistics. We know. We keep track. You buy stuff and then never use it, but we don't care.
Valve.
You still use our system.
Like Valve. All your games belong to us.
Ooh, shoot.
That's also
really
kind of the
good.
case with PlayStation 2, because I can't tell you how many games I've downloaded on my PS4 and PS5 just from the subscription-free monthly games. Mm-hmm. It's like, I might play that someday. Let's add it to my library. And I've just got like this packed library of games, most of which I will probably never play. Mm-hmm. But hey, they were free. Yeah. You know, they came with the subscription, so...
You use the subscription gives you some extra stuff, and it's like, well, I might play it someday, who knows? That's Valve's entire business plan. We have 8 million games on Steam. We can afford to, like, sell some of them for way cheaper, and as it turns out, that pulls a profit, because no one buys Skyrim at full price anymore. You get it from a random Steam sale, but you still buy it.
You know, that actually might be something worth talking about in an episode also, that subscription services in general, because I've heard a lot of good things about Xbox's Game Pass, and that really does kind of seem the way things are going. And I can see the advantage of, hey, pay, you know, some number of dollars per month and you have access to this giant library of games. Why would you want to buy a single $60 game when you can have access to all these games, some companies, I think it was Ubisoft, is really good about having these things available very quickly on these services. So like, that might be just the way things go.
But like Ubisoft has all their games available like day one.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and like Nintendo too. Like I love these emulator games on there. Heck, I just recently started playing Fire Emblem on the GBA on the Switch.
Yeah,
and good Lord, that rewind feature is a godsend.
God, yes, absolutely.
Oh, I made a mistake. I can rewind.
Good
Lord, Fire Emblem can be fun if you can have a rewind feature.
I can't imagine. Yeah, like I can't imagine how. Like no one talks about the fact that the Switch Online has rewind and how useful that is. Like holy moly, how useful that is. You're just like, oh, I don't have to keep. Like, I don't have to save scum anymore. I can just, like, Prince of Persia this. You know? I don't have to do that.
And not even, like... and not even just, like, for the cheap stuff, but, like, you know how often with an RPG, I might just not be paying attention and just keep tapping the button and I screw up? Oh, oops, I can rewind and undo that stupid thing. You know? It's just...
It's such a
it's nice. It's forgiving.
And yet awesome feature.
Yes.
And it respects my goddamn time.
Because I'm be honest with you, I don't understand how it works.
Well,
you just hold the button and just
well, no, I mean I get how it works, but I'm like, how does it work?
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, what is the mechanics that helps you undo?
Well, here's the thing. It only goes back like, I don't know, a minute or two at most. So like, there's probably just some sort of like auto saving thing in there. Like with the Switch example, I know that like when you do the screen cap and record, like even if I try to save something now, it'll always go back like a few seconds before I actually hit it. So there's got to be some sort of internal recording thing that's like constantly moving along, you know, flipping after a certain point back. And I think it's just using that same feature.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
It is
weird because it's just like it's not like recording something that happened, right? It's like actually going back and undoing actual commands.
Well, you're going earlier in the emulation, you know, so you're just kind of rewinding a bit. So it's not like undoing a command as much as it's going back to an earlier state, you know, like when you reboot your computer to an earlier state, I guess.
Yeah,
but with more control.
Get ready for the post-ironic generation. You need to make at least one satirical joke to be truly in-touch depressed Zoomers. Isn't that us as well? Isn't that millennials? I feel like that's also millennials. Because that's what
it's funny because there are some ways in which I feel like millennials can be more depressing and cynical than Gen Z, but sometimes it's the other way. So I don't know anymore. I see both.
Well,
Gen Z is young enough to still believe they can make a difference.
No, not the Gen Z I've met. They know that the world's coming to an end, and they're just accepting it. It's like there's nothing we can do. That's one of the reasons why a lot of older people. I don't get why Gen Z is always on their phones. It's the only place they can afford to live.
Yeah, because they can't afford. They can't afford all this luxury.
It's really sad that we have like simultaneously given people a device that will effectively like bring out the worst in people, but also made it like the only thing we have access to, and we've made it essential. You gotta have your social media. You gotta be able to know what's going on everywhere at all times. No wonder, you know, we're all anxious and depressed and
like we took
fans. We've screwed ourselves over.
We took a tricorder from Star Trek and turned it into a thing that we use to make jokes with.
I can bring up cat memes. I might just do that now.
Yeah, it's like that's what we use it for. We have like this amazing technology that like 20, 30 years ago, we were like, this is sci-fi. Like this only exists in like sci-fi, you know, highest fantasy fiction crap. And what do we use it for? Cat memes. That's what we use it for.
Here we go.
Speaking of,
I literally have a meme right here.
World-changing technology.
I sent this to my wife. It's just baked this cake and ate one piece, came back, and the dog licked the icing off as
far as she could reach.
And so the dog was just like, my phone.
You're screaming out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
And see,
like,
that's what we use this world-changing technology for.
So,
Ian
speaking
Smith,
of social
excellent.
media, though, I have to mention this because I just thought this was hilarious. So when we last talked, we were talking about Twitter and the idea of moving away from Twitter, and I was saying something like how it's not going to happen because this is where the media is, where celebrities are, and like literally a day or two after that we did that video, Threads was announced, and it's like, by the way, Facebook is doing its own Twitter now, and I'm like, you know what? This might be the thing that does it because it's connected to the metaverse. Let's be real here. Like, part of the reason why I jumped on Instagram was that it was already connected to Facebook and it made things easier. Like, if Threads has that level of like interconnectivity, this might be it. I don't know. Like, it still is going to require like people to actually move to that, which people may or may not do. But I just thought that was hilarious. So I was like, there's nothing you can do. People are going to be on Twitter forever. And then Zuckerberg is like listening in, like, oh yeah.
It's like, do people actually use Twitter?
I tried to use
For the
Twitter.
clout, I'm sure people do. Build those followers.
So yeah, Saffron said, "Who is the guy who played Steve Jobs? By the way, do you guys still keep in touch?" I don't. I never actually met him. But Steve Jobs, the guy who played him, was an actor out in Los Angeles who was working with the third party person at the time. Was working with them. That was the one time that me and the third party person collaborated at the end of Gaming Wildlife. Was that we did the Steve Jobs episode. You'll note that of the last 400% Honest I did, the Steve Jobs episode was the least viewed one, and the other 3 were more viewed. Just saying. But yeah, unfortunately, I never got a chance to meet him. Mostly it was just like, here's the script, did his scenes, did my scenes, edit them together. But yeah. So, I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know if I want to join Threads. I really don't, because there's a couple of ones that I've been looking into. Mastodon might be a pretty decent one as sort of a Twitter replacement. Also because because I follow Magic the Gathering people, obviously, because I play Magic. Mastodon is where most of Magic's communities have started.
Oh, that's a social media thing.
Yeah, Mastodon is.
I thought you were talking about the Power Rangers, the Black Power Rangers Zord.
Mastodon.
See, like I've heard of Mastodon. I've heard some people on podcasts talk about it. Like, I just haven't heard like enough people like really talking about it being a big social thing. And according to one of our chat here people, Elijah Bennett, Threads does use your Instagram account, which to me is like, oh, there you go. Because if basically everyone is using Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, if it's that easy and that's connected, it'll be so much easier for people to move over. People are more likely to do it.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. A lot of your, no offense, Gen Xers are probably going to be like, I don't want to go on to a new thing. But if it's already connected, they might move over.
Man, screw that.
The thing is, the cynical side of me must be like, people aren't going to go there because people aren't there, and people aren't there because people aren't going there. But on the other hand, if enough people really dislike Twitter and dislike Musk enough that they want to move, and you get your celebrities, you get your media newscast people over there, it could happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if anything was going to replace Twitter, this has the best shot so far.
But yeah, the real quick for GTR, yeah, I think the old Discord fell apart because I've actually looked into like, can you join the old Discord for Gaming Wildlife? No, I think they must have shut it down at some point. I was never in control of the old Discord. We have a new Discord, which we're on right now, obviously.
Yeah.
But
use Discord, not that cord.
Yeah. I plan on, because right now I'm talking to a couple of...
oh, Sean, come on.
I talked to a couple of people about making it public. I'm reluctant to at first, because I kind of wanted it to be invite-only at first, but we'll probably make our Geeks Welcome Discord public, and I'll probably just start attaching it to videos being like, hey, if you want to join the Discord, here you go. Right now it's connected to the Patreon, so... if you want to give $1 to our Patreon, you can join the Discord. But yeah, I will make it just a public.
I'm pretty sure there's a way. I'm pretty sure there's a thing where you can have certain chats still be.
Yeah,
like
that's
members only.
the idea.
If you absolutely needed to.
Yeah, the idea will be that if you donate $1 to our Patreon, you'll get a VIP section, but the Discord itself will be public. That's what we're essentially doing. Yeah. How long until we can expect the official Geeks Welcome OnlyFans?
Well,
It's just going to be like Ian's feet pics or something.
never. Okay, well, never say never. Okay. I mean, if you guys want to see my ass,
all right, I'm gonna show
No,
my
Ian, I know exactly what you do because I know you. Here's what you do: food porn.
Well,
You do your food, man. You're a foodie. You make crazy stuff. Pictures on the OnlyFans. There you go.
All right, fine.
I'll expect my royalties check in the mail.
I have to make money before I can pay you.
Oh, you will.
All right, but yes, I like to cook and I like cooking stuff. So that would probably be what it is.
oh yeah,
Or-
GW After Dark.
It's
Quad.
Dinner time.
I-
Ring the dinner bell. Ding ding.
Here's my dinner for tonight. It is a tortilla with cheese.
Enchilada.
That's it. Fansly.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever heard of Fansly.
I don't know what
You do
Fansly is.
Fansly.
Is that
Yeah.
another like
I'm
Mastodon?
assuming
Didn't
it's probably
Scourge-
the same thing.
I think Dinscourge, I think you have a point regarding the younger people. I get that because they're not really on Facebook Meta anyway.
Yep.
But keep in mind, a lot of millennials, a lot of Gen Xers, a lot of boomers are, and that's a pretty good chunk. I
Yeah,
mean,
they got money.
I don't know.
And I can tell you because I've got a Facebook page for Geeks Welcome. The requirements for monetization on like Facebook Reels is way lower than the requirements for monetization on YouTube. So
If you're gonna choose a group to market to, probably want to market to millennials over Gen Z because kids ain't got no jobs.
And let's,
we
don't
really
you're going to market to the Gen Xers and the boomers. They're the ones with the money.
Yes, that is true. Although mostly boomers, some Xers are starting to acquire a little bit of money. Millennials and Gen Z are still broke.
Yeah, no money at all.
YouTube.
Raise your hand if you are currently living with your parents.
I mean, technically, mine are living with
Yeah, there
me.
we go. All three of us. Okay, yeah, his family lives with him. Sure.
Okay, so yes, but
my name is the one that's on the mortgage.
Yes.
So, technically, my mother lives with me.
and it is nice that you're taking care of your mother, and that is very good.
Yes, I agree. You're a good son.
When someone is going to do the YouTuber boxing, what the hell's up with YouTuber boxing? Why do YouTubers keep doing public spectacles where they fight each other? Friggin' Aaron Hansen of the Game Grumps.
Hang on. Did you just ask why YouTubers are doing public spectacles?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
think about that
like,
sentence.
Like,
That's YouTube.
I was about to say,
That's
think
what
about
YouTube
that for
is.
5 seconds. But yeah, no, I would definitely get into a ring with Logan Paul. I'd love to get into a ring with, or is it Jake or Logan? Which one is the one that?
Both.
Oh, they're both doing it now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd love to get in the ring with both of them.
I know.
I'd actually take it. I would actually take it seriously because I think that's the thing that nobody's taking them seriously. And it's just like they have enough money to like actually hire the same kind of trainers that like legit boxers get.
Oh yeah, no. Harley of Epic Mealtime did a whole like. That's Jim's dog. He is adorable.
I could hear him crying outside my door. I'm like, oh, buddy.
But yeah, no.
Come on,
Harley of Epic Mealtime did a whole like video blog series. He hired a personal trainer to help him like learn how to box. But do you know who Harley's
got the zoomies.
His opponent was? Aaron Hansen of the Game Grumps, which like that was such a weird thing to see Aaron and Harley literally box, and they boxed for like a minute, and that was it.
And then I saw one where they were like boxing, but then they stopped boxing and started playing chess.
That may have been Alpha Rad. Alpha Rad just likes to do goofy stuff like that, though. That's part of his brand.
Like, that would be awesome. I'd love to do that. Like, it's like we're gonna box for a round, and then we're gonna stop boxing and play chess, and then we're gonna stop playing chess, and then we're gonna stop playing chess, and then what will we do after that?
Smash Melee.
Yeah.
Smash Melee. Final Destination. No items. Fox only. Who would win the fight?
See, that wouldn't actually be a problem for me because if you recall, I used to main Fox.
Yes, you did. Who would win in a fight, Sean?
Ass.
Who would win in a fight, Sean or Ian? Sean.
Final Destination, no items, Fox only.
I used to whoop you guys' ass.
Yeah, you did. I remember you were insane with Fox.
We had like a Smash. Didn't we have like a Smash club?
We had gamer
or like
club.
It was like we had a gamer club.
We had a gamers club, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So after
like,
this guy whines outside my door, he runs and he wrestles with me basically all over my face, and now he just wants to lie on my bed and lick himself.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Such a dog.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful
dog
boy.
over here.
But
I love Vinny.
You're keeping me outside of my bed. Apparently, is what he said.
So yeah.
No, my room was basically an extra spare room that my dad like kept a bunch of stuff in here, and he and Vinny basically just stayed in this bed. So this was Vinny's room for his first year of life, and I don't think he appreciated me moving in and kicking him out.
Yeah.
We've had a very active chat, and I'm very happy about this.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Love the chat. Love the chat.
Chat is
love
good.
for the chat.
Chat is good. But yeah, Sean, we had a gamers club back in high school. I remember that. Where we...
Yeah, I used to clown you guys with Fox.
Oh my god.
Fox and Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my go-to.
My mains in Melee were always Marth and Roy. Like, I loved the Fire Emblem guys, the swordsmen. Nowadays, though, my main is my boy in blue, Mega Man. He's my dude.
Yeah.
I found that I'm just better with like the item users that can like control at a distance better. So I've been using like the Castlevania guys and Mega Man, and that's kind of my go-to style now.
It's always been Link for me. Link was always young Link was the one I was very good with because he had that double smash where you could actually stun lock someone and then smack him off the stage. Like that one was
because it was like whap whap, wham.
Mm-hmm.
That was my whole thing was just speed and smash moves.
Mm-hmm. But I also
just get around.
There were a couple of people at Gamers Club who just got really, really good with. I can't remember who it was. It was Sheik. Like, they basically, if you went up against them with Sheik, they won every single time.
Yeah, I remember because I couldn't beat them. God, who was it? I want to say it was one of the girls.
No, probably. Was that
I can't remember who it was.
Was that Was it George Kelly?
It might have been.
Yeah, I could literally. I actually still know
I feel like
Kelly.
It probably was George. Yeah.
I still know George. I could contact her and be like, "Were you really good at Sheik?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, of course I was really good at Sheik." It's like, "Yeah, of course it was you."
I mean, Sheik was one of the popular ones to get good with. Sheik, Falco, or not Fox, Captain Falcon. Good Lord,
Captain Falcon.
Oh God, yes.
Run to the edge of the stage, jump, Falcon punch in middle air, and as you land, you hit the punch, and the person just goes flying.
Flying, yeah.
See, the thing that I remember most about Gamers Club, I think I was vice president or something during my senior year, but I remember trying to organize more events instead of just hang out and play games. Tried to have a monthly retro game day where we'd hook up, the SNES and the N64, older consoles. I don't remember if we ever got around to having any LAN parties, but I remember that was a big thing back in the day.
No, we had multiple
trying to
consoles.
do more yeah.
We had multiple
consoles.
Had
to roll in those giant TV cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because we had multiple TVs. One was playing Soul Calibur.
That is unfortunately that's how it's had to be done back then, because nowadays you could just plug anything into anything nowadays. But back then we had to actually get the multiple TV carts, set up an Xbox on one, a GameCube on another, and PlayStation wasn't really a multiplayer console, so PS2 kind of didn't really show up that often.
I mean, you had like
I don't recall it even being there. Yeah, but I don't recall anybody ever playing on, because I recall we would play on Dreamcast.
I remember playing Naruto fighting games at Gamers Club. I remember doing that.
I remember we used to play on Dreamcast a lot. We used to play on GameCube a lot. We used to have N64 a lot.
Yeah,
but I don't remember us having
N64 and GameCube were like the go-to multiplayer consoles because they had 4 ports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and like you had all your Mario Karts, your Mario Parties, your Smash Bros, your GoldenEye, your all those kinds of games. N64 was like the first big multiplayer party game console.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, people could play together, 2-player games on SNES and Genesis, but N64, that 4-player capability, that broke new ground.
GoldenEye was by far, like, people played so much GoldenEye that literally an entire new genre of just, like, multiplayer. People were just like, can we put this online? And then all of a sudden just the multiplayer deathmatch with that and Doom.
Yeah, I mean, I think Counter-Strike owes its existence to GoldenEye.
Yeah, basically.
I think it's funny that, like, basically from the Wii on, like, the idea of controller ports became kind of less and less an issue as we had the Wiimotes could digitally connect. The Switch, you got your 2 Joy-Cons, but you can connect like 8 different controllers, first-party or third-party controllers. You need one Switch, everybody bring a controller. We got 8-person Smash going on. Like, It's just, mwah. It's so nice compared to the old days.
And it's also helpful that that every controller now kind of uses USB, essentially, so that the universal serial bus is now just
Bluetooth, basically.
Yeah. Bluetooth and USB, now everyone just connects with that. You don't have to worry about things like that. And also, controllers can be used for multiple things. I could hook both of these up to my computer if I wanted to. Both of these can work just fine.
I've got the NES and SNES Switch controllers, just for that extra level of, I want to feel old-timey when I'm playing my emulated games on there.
Wait, do those slide into the Switch?
No.
These connect to the Joy-Con ports, so
Frick me.
Yeah.
Mine just has USB-C.
Oh, no, not the SNES one. I'm talking about the NES ones.
Yeah,
so I just have to... Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So
that is
and then I just
awesome.
it out.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, only the NES one does that. I mean, considering how, like, the N64 ones are too big to do that. The SNES ones, they didn't want to, I guess, ship 2 of those. They were expensive enough as it is.
Yeah.
But you can only buy these as the 2-pack, and that's how they connect.
And
which is cool.
Collective Effervescence says, and they vibrate, too.
I miss original NES games, man.
Because I've been playing some of the Nintendo Switch Online NES games, the ones I never bought into, and it's so fascinating that it kind of makes me wonder, they all kind of feel the same, honestly. It kind of makes me think, why did, like, Metroid and Zelda get so popular? Because there's about 6 other games that I can think of that are extremely similar to Metroid and Zelda. And it's just like,
I can answer that.
Yeah,
they're first party.
I can easily answer that. Nintendo's identity, the unique style of the games, like the music, the like it stands out. Like when I look at like Mario Brothers games, like even like take Mario 3 for example, which is probably like the pinnacle of NES games. It's just like a world above the stuff that was coming out even, a couple years earlier when Mario 1 came out. Like they really innovated a lot over a very short time span. They made a lot of games in a very short amount of time, and there was a lot of big improvements over those games.
Yeah, but I mean,
look
it's
at how
the same story today, though. I mean, like first-party games are always going to outperform third parties.
But look at how much time is being spent between these first-party releases. I mean, games are bigger today; they're more complicated, take more time, and You got to deal with all the glitches and everything. But consider that these were games that you couldn't patch. You know, when the game came out, it was either a good game or a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
You either forgave the bugs like they did for Pokemon Red and Blue and Final Fantasy, and, you know, hopefully they'll try the next game, or it fell into the, you know, pit of games that we should not ever play again, like E.T.
I still, like, I feel like, though, there's a couple of games there, like the old school Rygar or Master Blaster. Both of those are really fun, and I'm kind of like, I'm surprised those never really took off having big, huge franchises the same way that Castlevania or even Pokemon did. Like,
Yeah.
Master Blaster it has some amazingly cool music, and it really gets stuck in your head after a while. Yeah. But something about that just never really exploded for some reason.
Yeah, they didn't have
I've
good
heard
marketing.
people talk about it. I've heard people talk about it, but I mean, like, seriously, if you go play Castlevania and you go play the next closest Castlevania clone game, I don't even know what that'd be off the top of my head, like, one of those is going to stick with you better, and not just because you've known about it longer, but like just playing it. I don't know. Like, I'll go back and play these games. I never played Castlevania until I played it on the Wii, I think, for, you know, Virtual Console. And I sat there and played that game in, like, I don't know, 7 hours or whatever. Like, it was hard and I had to beat it. But it left an impact. That many years after it came out, yeah, I have the nostalgia of playing NES games, but not that game. There was magic in these games. You know, you make a good game, the gameplay, the music, the visual styles. Heck, go watch the Sequelitis episode on Castlevania and all the things that make it stand out. I mean, it's a good game.
Don't even do that. Just watch Castlevania anime series.
Do that as well.
That's its own thing. But I agree. But that's its own thing.
So yes, to mention Dinscourage, what you said they sometimes make revision game cards. Yes, they do. In fact, I own one. This is, if it focuses,
I can't even. Ace Attorney
something. What is a revision game card?
So
talk to us, Ian. What's a revision game card?
So sometimes they will basically make a game and they will improve or fix parts of the game and then release them as a game card. This is technically a bootleg, but this is Ace Attorney Investigations 2, aka The Prosecutor's Path, which was never released in the United States, but this is an English dub of the Ace Attorney Prosecutor's Path, because this was never released in the States, and you can actually play on the DS. That is perfectly legal.
Yes, but again, that's a fan thing. That's not official. I mean, I've got a fan translation of the Fire Emblem for the GBA. It's actually English fan translation because I wanted to play Roy's game. I don't care if he's one of the worst lords in Fire Emblem history. Don't at me. Fans do what the companies won't.
And then they get sued.
Hercules does what Nintendo Hercules. That's
the new Sonic. So I started it. I really enjoyed it, and then I got sidetracked by Spider-Man, which is a better game. I love Sonic, but the Spider-Man game was better. And I plan to get back to it once I'm done with Miles Morales.
I kind of want to play the new Sonic, but I mostly got sidetracked with... I mean, we've been lousy this year for so many good games. There has been Metroid Prime Remastered, which is outstanding. Resident Evil 4 Remake, which is outstanding. Tears of the Kingdom, which is outstanding. And after I played those, I was like, I kind of want to go back and play some of the others. So I went back and played Fusion, which was released on Switch Online. I went back and played Resident Evil Remake and Resident Evil 2. And Tears of the Kingdom I'm still playing because I'm 125 hours in and there's just no end in sight. There's so many things that I can do.
Yeah. I started playing Final Fantasy 16, and then I got sick.
Yeah, I haven't even had a chance to do 16, and
I don't think I'm gonna go back. I don't know why. I have no desire to go back. And it even though it looked like a really dope game and it was fun while I was playing, I'm like, I have no desire to go back. Probably because I associate it with being sick now.
Well, yeah. That's the one thing that I worried about, because when my mother was ill, I played a lot of Tears of the Kingdom while I was...
125 hours of it.
Yes, I did, in fact. And so I think part of me worries now that if I go back and play Tears of the Kingdom, I'm going to be
associated with that bad time.
Yeah, and I don't want to.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do that because the game's really good and I love Zelda, but also I needed it to help get through a difficult time in my life.
Same. I'm like, that was another one of the games I was playing before I got sick, and now I'm just like, I cannot bring myself to even pick up my Switch. And I bought a whole new Switch.
You bought the OLED?
Yeah, just for that game. And I was just like,
you like,
nah, I can't, like,
because I feel like the OLED only improved the actual like screen. It's not improved hardware. Okay,
yeah, it's really only good for handheld mode. As far as that.
Which,
I mean, unless there's
I
like
prefer
the other...
to play it in handheld.
Yeah. I mean, are there, like, if they fix anything with, like, the battery or anything like that, that might be nice, because my Switch still gets really hot really fast.
Yeah, I have the second...
I think they did.
Yeah, I have the second generation Switch that has an improved battery on it.
Because I feel like, I don't know if you can see the vent situation on there as opposed to the original.
Yeah, your vents...
Yeah, that's mine.
Got mine here.
So what's yours look like?
Yeah, like that.
A little blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. Interesting.
And then of course they've got on this one this. Oh, there's some more vents on the bottom down here. I don't know if you can really see them, but these little slits right here.
I've heard.
And then this whole thing is a stand.
So you can flip out the entire thing as opposed to one little stand.
So you can probably see the vents a little bit better.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Because
looks much more sturdy. Yeah,
ours just has that one little stand like that.
That was pretty much the whole. That was like the kicker for me when I saw the stand. I was like, yeah, I'm getting the OLED.
So one other thing I wanted to. I wanted to point out, since we were talking about like fan creations and such, we'll do a plug here for something that I've really loved and appreciated. You see, kids, back before we had cases for all of our games, for your PlayStation games, your Xbox games, they came in these little cheap paper boxes that most of us just threw away because why the heck would you keep it? So you had to like get separate sleeves or plastic containers for them in. But some people were like, hey, let's actually make cases for NES and SNES and N64 games. And I love these because now I can actually keep all my games in like good condition, safe. So shout out to Gaming Relics.
Not a sponsor.
I've probably given so much money.
Not a sponsor.
I said, I'm just giving. Yeah, I just said I want to give them a shout out for a great product. I appreciate it. And I know I got eaten a bunch of them too.
Yeah, I bought them for literally every single N64 game I have, and several. I think. Oh yeah, I've got some for the like. Here's Oracle of Seasons.
And
those remind me of. Those remind me of the cases that used to come in when you would rent the games from Blockbuster.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a name that any Gen Z fan.
I also have
won't know.
So like here's an old Banjo-Kazooie. This is
they used to come in that.
Yeah, these things. So this is made of like really flimsy. I'm gonna try and open this without ruining it, but it comes in really flimsy like cardboard paper. Like this. Yeah, it's basically just paper. But then there are...
For comparison, Castlevania 4. It's very delicate. It's compare that to this plastic that I got for Final Fantasy. It's like they're roughly the same size, so they look good together on a shelf. But like,
probably shouldn't be touching that Castlevania one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's Super Castlevania 4.
That thing is liable to fall apart.
I mean, yeah, the Banjo-Kazooie case I was really careful with because that thing is very flimsy, and if I sneeze hard enough, I'll just tear it.
I'm like, old stuff is fragile. I gotta be real with you.
It is. It's
Yeah.
because
I was going back when I'm going back to all my old comic books when I was moving. I'm like, good God. Some of these things are like super fragile.
I was literally talking to like my wife about this earlier that we had because we were talking about the Barbie movie, which is coming out soon for some people.
For money.
Yeah, for money. That like sort of like old comics and old magic cards and old Barbies are so valuable because they were like used as toys. People like didn't take very good care of them. They kind of fell apart. The Barbies, you'd like snap off their heads or cut off their hair. The magic cards got torn and ripped. Same with old comic books. The reason that some of those old ones are so valuable now is because they're just so hard to find because people used them. They were bought by kids and kids destroyed stuff because they didn't think it was going to be worth anything. And now, as it turns out, there are like $100,000 comic books and magic cards and Barbies that people just because they were kept in a pristine condition for whatever reason, and now they're super valuable. There was literally, I can tell you from the magic card front, a few years ago, a guy opened a starter deck from the original magic set called Alpha, just the original set, and opened a Black Lotus. And it sold for like, I want to say $180,000 because it was basically mint condition. It had been in plastic for 30 years. And that's just like, so many old things now that we didn't expect to maintain. Now it's just like, I'm going to guess that this Banjo-Kazooie box is probably worth something. Even though it's like really ratty condition. You can even see that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, eventually one day I think some of my stuff's going to be worth crap because, like, I have a whole bunch of trade paperbacks of, like, comics that aren't being made anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, I have, like, the entire series of Witchblade. I don't know if you remember that.
I do not.
So, they made a crappy TNT television series about it back in, like, the early 2000s. Starring Yancey Butler, of all people.
Ye old nostalgia tax. God, yeah, that's a bit... Nintendo thrives off of that. Like, people will talk about the Nintendo tax, literally. Ladies and gentlemen, I am holding in my hands $250. Because for some reason... They will not release Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 on anything else, and so these old cartridges are worth obscene amounts of money for a game that is very easily emulated. You can download a ROM and emulate it. Download Nintendo games and emulate them. It is morally correct.
And especially if you want to have things like the case to protect it or the instruction booklet, because... let's face it, a lot of old games, you kind of had to read the instructions or you didn't know how to play the game.
Yep.
So, like, just, But thankfully, we have, websites and people can look that stuff up nowadays.
And actually, to answer Dinscourge, I actually also have those too. I have the DVD box set of that.
Witchblade?
The sexy anime Witchblade.
Oh. I have a DVD of the Legend of Zelda animated series. It was only 9 episodes.
And the Excuse Me Princess one?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
God. I'll top that. I've got a DVD of the 3-episode Mega Man show. Oh my God! Like not the Ruby Spears
not
one
cool
that like
one.
people watch. Not the cool one. This was like some anime that like they made 3 episodes, and I swear the first episode is like just a tour guide of Japan. It's Jesus Christ.
It's not the one with the dope theme song.
Nope. Sadly, nope. The one where Rush doesn't talk like Scooby Doo. Mega Man. But I did have all the toys of that when I was a kid.
We're making collective effervescence sad.
Are we?
What? Yeah. Why? What's wrong? What's wrong?
It's either the Mega Man or the Zelda series. It's probably.
Well, we don't know what
series.
the Y refers to, so yeah, we have no idea.
You remember Captain N, the Game Master?
I do remember Captain N.
I try to forget that exists as often as I can because of Mother Brain and Simon Belmont and that so-called Mega Man that they had in that show.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't my boy.
You remember the original, like, the actual cover art for the original Mega Man, right? It was a guy with like a gun,
dude.
As an actual gun.
You're asking the wrong person.
It was a dude with a gun in a blue suit.
He's about to.
You're
flex.
asking me if I remember this abomination? Do I remember this?
Yeah, that's right. It was
abomination.
There it is. We can see
this
it.
Abomination. I love the game, but no, the cover art, no.
The
like
man
they didn't
with
know
the
what they were
blue
doing.
and
They
gold
just like
suit and the gun.
They didn't realize the gun was
recently
attached
too,
to
right?
his arm.
I forget what it was. There was a fighting game like some number of years ago where that version cameoed as a fighter. I can't remember what game it was. Chat, remind us if you know. I wish I could remember. It was
The Mario
I think it was like
show.
an Xbox game.
The Mario Show. Swing your arms side to side. Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Is that the
Swing
one
your
where it was
arms
like
from side to
live
side.
action?
Come on. Yeah, with Lou Albego.
I remember that. What is that guy's face?
I think he's
I
talking
don't know. That's the point.
the Mega Man. It's so.
You talking about the Mega Man, or are you talking about
the
what
Mega
this
Man?
abomination of art?
Yeah, look at
Like-
that. Look at that. That guy's just like.
what
look
is
at his
his
stance.
face?
Like, look at his legs. Look at this. Look at the hands, the gun, the stance. Like this posture
Looks like
makes
he's
no
like
sense.
riding an invisible horse.
Yeah, yeah.
and he's holding his gun like. Nyeh.
Yeah, because he's got like both hands on the reins, and he's also trying to hold his gun.
Oh, God, that box art! I swear.
Whilst riding an
No,
invisible
the Mario
horse.
show. The Mario show was, as the kids say, fire. I watched so much of that show. It was that show did so much to make the characters who they are. Toad and Peach, especially, like it gave them some fun personality. Mario and Luigi were, of course, just lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I loved that show as a kid, especially the Mario 3 version.
I feel like that show influenced the now only good version of the Mario movie. I refuse to say that the 1992 version exists. It's just it.
What are you
never happened.
talking about? That movie was glorious.
That movie is awful, and I hate it.
It had John Leguizamo in it.
It did have John Leguizamo in it, and I hate it.
Monkey.
It's terrible.
Monkey. Wait, what? That was Oh God, what's his face? What's his name? Hoffman.
No, not Dustin Hoffman.
No, not Dustin Hoffman. Oh God, what is his name?
All right, looking it up.
Hopper?
Dennis Hopper.
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
I knew it was a DH.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. God, I remember that. Literally, it was Bob Hoskins said that was the worst film of his career.
Shut up, Bob Hoskins.
Hey, don't you tell Bob Hoskins to shut up. I love Bob Hoskins. Rest in peace, Bob Hoskins.
He is a wonderful. He was a wonderful person, unless we find out later that he wasn't. But I thought he was. It's entirely possible.
At time of recording.
At time of recording, we.
What's your name?
Bob Hoskins was a good.
What's your name? Mario. What's your name? Luigi Mario. You're Mario and Luigi Mario. Yeah, the Mario Brothers.
Amazing movie.
No, it's not.
Phenomenal.
It's bad.
Spectacular. 2 thumbs up. Siskel and Ebert both gave it 2 thumbs up.
I agree, Collective Effervescence. It was delightful.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
It was spectacular. Tour de force.
He was pretty cool.
Don't get me started on Roger Rabbit Didn't Scourge. Roger Rabbit is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Amazing.
Like, I adore that movie so much.
Mm-hmm. Terrible film. Drek. Absolute garbage. No, I'm just kidding.
I will find
I hate you right now.
I'm just kidding. No. Roger Rabbit is classic.
Yes, of course it is. It's one of the greatest.
And Jessica Rabbit is primarily the reason.
No, the movie's also just really well written.
Nah, it's all Jessica
It
Rabbit.
is. Like, I love looking into the history of animation and to a lesser extent history of film, but like what that movie did. You know, I mean, we don't think much about it nowadays because we've had so many, you know, Alvin and the Chipmunks and Smurfs and Sonic the Hedgehog movies where you have some animated character and a real life character. Like Roger Rabbit did it so well.
God, yes.
Like,
Roger Rabbit is the best version of it.
Yes.
I liked the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie that came out not too long ago. Like, it was fine, but it still was nothing compared to what it was trying to be. Like, it was trying to be Roger Rabbit too. Roger Rabbit, you just can't. It's that movie could never be made again.
Which movie was trying to be Roger Rabbit too?
What?
Which movie was trying to be Roger Rabbit?
Oh,
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers that came out recently.
Yeah.
No, that was basically their attempt at doing another Roger Rabbit style movie. Again, very meta, very fourth wall. Like they were actors basically, you know, in the real world. And it does kind of carry a lot of similar themes, similar tropes. There's a lot of modern day jokes within it. Heck, Ugly Sonic is in it. Watch it for no other reason than the fact that Ugly Sonic is in it, and he just makes the movie.
Which, by the way, the Sonic films, both of them are also really good.
They're fun.
Yeah, thank God they didn't stick with Ugly Sonic.
Thank God.
Yeah. And again, like, they're not masterpieces, but like they're fun. And if you're like us and you grew up in that time period, like Sonic 2 was my game as a kid. That was my main thing that I played as a kid. I've loved seeing these movies brought to life, and I think they've done a great job representing their source material.
I think the Sonic movies were probably, well, at least the first one definitely was probably like the first good video game movie
Sonic
that I can recall.
Sonic and also Detective Pikachu came out the same year. Both of those are really good.
Yeah. But I think
Pikachu was really good.
Yeah, I guess technically. I'm debating on whether Detective Pikachu counts as a video game movie.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon...
Detective Pikachu Pokemon is a video game.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just like, at that point, I'm like, Pokemon is kind of like it's transcending video game medium.
Yeah, it is. Like, really, we can talk about... That's the one thing...
Because I kind of feel like the anime Pokemon has more of a like footprint on...
God,
yeah. Sure. So...
Then the games do.
Yeah. So Din Scourge, I'm assuming by the 8-bit Sonic kind of sucks. So I assume you're talking about like the Master System and Game Gear Sonic games, because
awesome.
Especially in the Game Gear, those suffered from screen crunch like hell. Like, I'm so glad like some fans remade one of the games, Triple Trouble, and I need to play it because the remake the fans made looks so good compared to the game. I've tried the Game Gear games, I just couldn't get into any of them. I think I beat the second one just because I really wanted to, but like, yeah, the 8-bit ones, look, they don't have that blast processing the Genesis had. You know, Sonic's got to have that blast processing.
Didn't they remake those as Sonic Advance? Like, wasn't that what Sonic Advance?
No, those are different. Those are entirely different games. The Sonic Advance games are their own thing. Those are good games. The Game Boy Advance Sonic games, those are good. Yeah.
The only games, I was about to say the only game I really remember on Game Gear was Surf Ninjas.
No. The Game Gear Sonic games, those were the ones that struggled. They had some problems. The Game Boy Advance Sonic games, well, yeah, it's the Game Gear. You need like 6 batteries every 3 hours.
God, yeah. 6 batteries every 3 hours. God,
but see, that's the thing, though. I feel like they might have been better on the Master System because the Game Gear ones, like, yeah, it's portable, but the screen crunch, the screen crunch was so bad on those games. Like, every time I tried to play them in like collections, they were unplayable. You know, blown up on a big screen with the Game Gear screen crunch. Just, ugh.
They were that tiny. Surf Ninjas.
Game Gear was like,
sup, Casey is Raw.
Yeah,
gaming and wrestling.
Casey is Raw Gaming and Wrestling. What a name. Who knows? Maybe in... God.
Yeah, Surf Ninjas. Exactly. Surf Ninjas for the win. Yes, exactly. You don't remember Surf Ninjas?
I've seen the movie.
I don't.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think I do. Okay, I was thinking like a Game Gear game. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, it was a Game Gear game because in Surf Ninjas, there was the kid who played Surf Ninjas on the Game Gear, so that they actually made a Game Gear game of Surf Ninjas.
That is true.
Wow.
Like, he was playing
remember
he was playing the movie Like the event of the movie are happening on his Game Gear.
See, I remember there being a movie. I never saw the movie, and I'd never heard of the game. But
I mean, the
sounds
movie's
cool.
terrible.
I don't even remember anything other than the fact that a Game Gear was featured heavily in the movie. I don't remember anything about the movie other than that.
I think they made like 3 sequels to it, and I don't
Yeah,
remember.
no, I'm pretty sure they did.
And they were terrible.
it sounds like something they would.
Either it was Surf Ninjas that they made. No, I don't think they made the sequel. Well, maybe they did. I don't remember. We have to look it up because I know there was another Ninjas movie that they made like multiple sequels of, and that was Three Ninjas.
Wait, was Surf Ninjas a sequel to Three Ninjas?
I don't think so.
I now have to look.
Because
I'm
pretty sure Surf Ninjas was the one with the Hawaiian kid.
Ian, where'd you get your shirt?
I got it from my wife. She bought it for me. But yeah, I don't remember where she got this. I literally could walk into the other room and go, "Hey, where'd you get it?" The viewers want to know.
Right, Surf Ninjas is a 1993 film.
Oh man. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Starring Ernie Reyes Jr. and Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
Ernie Reyes Jr. and Ernie Reyes Sr. So maybe I am conflating 2 different movies.
She's taking a nap, so no.
No, I'm pretty sure I remember Surf Ninjas had a freaking Game Gear in it.
Literally, Casey, you could probably just Google like Tears of the Kingdom shirt and find it.
Okay, it did. It did have the Game Gear in it. Yes, I remember. Okay, so I remember that correctly. But I don't think Surf Ninjas sequels.
There were. Am I thinking of Three Ninjas? Is that the one?
I think you're thinking of Three Ninjas because I know for a fact Three Ninjas had like 3 sequels, or like had 3 movies.
Yeah, that was the one with Leslie Nielsen and Rob Schneider, right?
Yes, that was Surf Ninjas.
Okay, that's Surf Ninjas. Okay.
Yes, they had Ernie Reyes Sr., Jr., Rob Schneider, and Leslie Nielsen, Rob Schneider, Nicholas Cowan, yeah.
So Jim,
So that was Surf Ninjas.
They're complimenting our Zelda shirts.
Sorry, I was looking up the Game Gear game and I found the case of it. Okay, yeah, I've never seen this before.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ian, we gotta like coordinate something like every stream we wear a Zelda shirt. I think I got at. I can't remember if I got this at GameStop or Kohl's, one of the local clothing stores. Yeah.
Yes. Three Ninjas had like 4 movies.
Yes.
Apparently, Damien and I both Rob Schneidered at the same time. Rob Schneider.
Three Ninjas had the original Three Ninjas film.
Yeah.
Three Ninjas Knuckle Up. Three Ninjas Kick Back. And finally, Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain.
High Noon at Mega Mountain. Did they just did they film that in one afternoon and improvise the entire film?
No, but it had Hulk Hogan in it.
Oh. Dear God.
So that was probably, that was 1998. So that's what, the height of Hulkmania?
Dear God. Why?
90s was chock full of ninjas. I think of what ninjas I remember from back in the day. I remember Ninja Gaiden, and I remember Shinobi from the Genesis. I don't remember seeing a lot of ninjas until Naruto showed up, and that was like the 2000s.
Okay, no, that was probably
I guess it was like Beverly Hills Ninja, I guess, was a thing.
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Hold on.
Miss Chris Farley.
One of the last Chris Farley films.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, never mind. That wasn't at the height of Hulkmania. That probably would have been at the tail end of Hulkmania. In 1998, which explains why he would have done a direct-to-DVD movie at that point. Because the height of Hulkmania would have been in 1994 when he starred in the, shall we say, infamous television series Thunder in Paradise.
I don't know.
If you don't recall Thunder in Paradise, it's where Hulk Hogan and a partner if I'm not
Oh.
played by Chris Lemon, fought crime with a high-tech speedboat.
How could I forget Ninja Turtles?
Yes.
Of course, Ninja Turtles. Oh my God! Thank you, Collective Effervescence. Ninja Turtles. Power Rangers. Yeah, I guess Mortal Kombat. Yeah, sure, okay, fine. I just wasn't
What are we
thinking. You guys are right. Sorry, I was talking about how like I don't remember a lot of ninjas back in the day, other than like the few video game ones. And then people were like Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Mortal Kombat. I'm like, okay, I'm dumb.
We have forgotten all the ninjas. We must remember.
Yeah, like
ninjas.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo.
I was thinking more like authentic. I was thinking like authentic ninjas, not like the Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles.
How dare you
like
say
authentic...
the Power Rangers aren't authentic ninjas?
I was thinking of Ninja Gaiden and Revenge of Shinobi.
Season 3 of Power Rangers literally turned them into ninjas.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the movie. That was the second movie.
The first movie. The second movie did...
No.
Second movie was Turbo.
Yeah, Turbo,
The first
Power Rangers movie.
No, are you sure?
I'm pretty 100%
Yeah, the first
positive.
Power Rangers movie. That was when they got the ninja powers, which was also in the show, but done differently. But that's neither here nor there.
Oh, it's on now.
What's on now?
I don't know.
Super Sentai, pretty authentic. Well, yeah, if we're talking Super Sentai, but we were talking Power Rangers, and that's
Power
completely
Rangers.
different.
Power Rangers is not authentic.
Power Rangers. Have you?
Not even the same show. It's the
Pasty ass
hodgepodge
kids
of two
in
different
Angel
things.
Grove, New York.
I need 5 teenagers with attitude.
With attitude.
God, that show. Have you tried to go back and watch that show? It does not hold up very well.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's so.
First of all,
Although-
Zordon's recruiting child soldiers. That's the first thing we need to realize. Second of all the child soldiers are technically like 30 years old.
Yes.
Although, the Green Ranger arc.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
The Green Ranger arc was very
When Tommy literally hijacked their Megazord and literally kicked them out of their own Megazord.
Yes.
This is the best scene in all of television history.
Greatest scene in television.
And that badass sword. Why did he keep the sword after he became permanent? Like, why did they have to go? Like, I like the dagger. Don't get me wrong, but that was a really cool sword.
Because it was part of his evil thing. It wasn't like part. It wasn't like. If I recall correctly, it wasn't like legit part of his Power Ranger thing. It was part of like the evil corruption of the Power Ranger thing.
It was so good that they had to give him a sword when he became the White Ranger. Like, we got to give him a sword. The sword was cool.
Yeah, it's got a
talking sword.
It's got to talk with a lion
tiger
head.
sword.
I remember that. No, it also helps that like the whole show was also done on such a small budget that apparently the actors were making minimum wage to do the series. Like they were working so many hours and only getting paid so much for it that it may as well have been minimum wage for the time.
Y'all,
Power Rangers
this
on
chat,
School.
I swear to God, this chat has brought up the Master System, has brought up the Sega CD. Like, y'all, my Sega fans. Hey, can we talk about the Saturn next? The failed Saturn?
The one that can
Come on, Saturnians, where are you?
You know what? I'm convinced that the Saturn failed specifically because of what's his name? The dude that was always running around talking about how video games were corrupting the youth.
Oh, Jack Thompson?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I like thinking it's his fault. Cause wasn't like that whole campaign of his, didn't it like pretty much start when Sega Saturn came out?
Probably. I want to say that it was. I mean, the big.
Because I feel like it was like a Sega Saturn game that kind of like set him off.
Oh yeah, Collective Effervescence is here to say yes. My first console was the Saturn.
Yeah, wasn't it like a Saturn game that set him off?
It might
like a really bad Saturn game too.
I don't.
Because it was like people running around a house trying to escape killers or whatever.
I just remember that a big issue with the Saturn is that they released it early to selective retailers, but Walmart wasn't one of them, and so Walmart just refused to stock the Sega Saturn, and so the sales dipped significantly, and they didn't get.
And
a chance
Elijah,
to
I
recover.
I think he did get this. No, wait, I don't think he got disbarred, but I don't think anybody really just pays attention to him anymore.
Oh,
ever
Chips
since
Challenge. Oh, I had Chips Challenge on PC. That game was so good.
Night Trap. That's the name of the game.
Not
Night
oh,
Trap.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't remember Night Trap.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
weird. It was like they were like saying that it was like pornographic.
Well, a lot of FMV games basically got away with like various different levels of nudity, so it's entirely possible that it was. But
You know,
I don't think it was legit pornographic. I think it was he was just saying it because people were running around in night clothes.
yeah. Oh,
yeah, I gotta say regarding the Sega stuff here, like I, as a Genesis owner, I feel like I contributed to the fall because you know what? I didn't get a Sega CD. I didn't get a 32X, and I kind of wish I had because there was some good stuff on there. Like I liked a lot of the stuff I've seen in the years since on there, but like no one's gonna buy that monstrosity. No one's gonna
Yeah,
put all that
wasn't it
stuff
like-
on the console.
Did you have? Was it like the 32X was like a whole thing that you had to plug into
You
the
put it on
original?
top of
Yep.
it. Yeah, and the
Yeah,
CD
that
was
was, like,
connected
so-
underneath. Yeah,
Yeah, that was like so
And,
dumb.
like,
I'm like, what are you?
there was some good stuff out there for them, but like no one's gonna
Who's
do
gonna
that.
buy all
And-
that?
hmm.
I remember I had
Yeah.
a cousin who had one of those, and it was just like it was a pain. We were like, "Oh God, we're not doing all this just to play one game." It's like this is stupid.
It was like that with the Nintendo 64 Double D as well. It was going to have a CD drive for the Nintendo.
hmm
Yeah, it's like that.
But, like,
That killed
you
that
know-
whole thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, like, the GameCube had like the Game Boy Advance player thing. Super Nintendo had the Super Game Boy, but those let you play other console games on your console. They weren't making like original games that only worked on the GBA player or only worked on the Super Game Boy.
Yeah.
You couldn't take a 32X game and just put it in your Genesis without the 32X peripheral.
And you
So,
had
like,
to
it
have
just- it's too
3
much stuff.
power adapters.
Yeah,
3.
and you had that like
Jesus.
3. It was like stupid. It's like, yo, why
Yeah.
am I plugging this whole thing in? Like, let me just have another whole console.
And then
And
that's
didn't you
when
have
you got
to
the
pay
Saturn.
pretty much? Didn't you have to pay pretty much the same amount of a full console just to have that thing?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably.
Like,
I have no idea.
Might as well just give me a whole.
Again,
nother
like
console.
we would have been what, like 10,
yeah,
you
it
know,
was like,
9, 8 around that time. Like we wouldn't have known. We wouldn't have bought that. Would have been like Christmas present stuff, if at best. And like, nah, parents aren't gonna buy all that stuff. Nah.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
that's why I never had it.
yeah, no, literally,
Mhm.
the only reason I had 2 video game consoles in the 90s is because they were given to my folks as a gift. Like, I was literally talking to my dad the other day. He was just like, we were wondering if maybe we didn't want to give you consoles at all, because it felt like it would be just a time sink. And so, thanks to that's the only reason that we got consoles, because people gave them to us. And so they wouldn't have been like, oh, can you also buy this other peripheral that plugs in and has a
Yeah,
whole
hell.
separate... No, we're not going to do that.
Apparently, my parents bought the NES for themselves before I was born, and then I kind of like took it over. Like I made it mine.
Yeah.
And then they eventually gave me like a Genesis for Christmas when I was little, and that was it. Like we had the NES, Genesis. I never had a SNES. I had to like my cousin had a SNES. One of my best friends had a SNES. I had to go to their places and play them, you know.
Yeah.
And I
never-
loved the SNES. I
So
kind of
what's-
wished I'd had one as a kid, but because I played the hell out of Mega Man X, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario World, F-Zero, all that stuff. I
you
loved
guys
those
did-
games.
So you guys,
But I
your
was not
first
going to get one
consoles-
because I had the Genesis.
So your first
Sorry?
consoles were like Nintendo.
Yeah.
My first
Okay.
console was the NES, and then technically my first that was mine was the Genesis.
Yeah, my first was the NES and then the N64. The first one I actually like bought, or no, it was the NES and then the N64, but I was given both of those as gifts.
Okay.
Probably
So
one of
I'm
my
just
earliest
old then.
gaming memories. One of my earliest gaming memories was like the day my mom picked me up from preschool and gifted me my copy of Mega Man 5.
Ah,
And I've had that ever since, and it's still like one of my favorite Mega Man games just because of that nostalgia. And yeah, no, Mario 1, 2, and 3, Mega Man 2 through 6, those were like what I spent the most time playing as a little kid. Is it any wonder I love platformers?
Because I had an Atari. That was like the first.
Dang,
Uh,
you had
no,
the
that wasn't
Pac-Man
even the
going
first
on.
That wasn't even the first console we had. The first console we had was And I don't know if they count as a console because I think it was a computer, but we had a Commodore 64.
Yeah, the Commodore 64. Oh yeah, that is. I guess that technically is a console, but it's also a computer. But
That
yeah,
was the first.
I guess if you technically count computers, then the first console I ever had was a Personal System 1 Pentium, like Pentium 2, I want to say. It was.
Let me ask you guys this. What was the first console that you ever bought with your own money?
Nintendo Wii. No, no, the original Game Boy. The original Game Boy. I remember because I had saved up allowance for several weeks because I wanted to get a Game Boy Pocket, but when we went to Game Guy, which no longer exists here in Lawrence, I missed them very
Game
much.
Guy.
Yeah, those guys were great.
Now that's a commercial I remember.
But yeah, Game Guy here in Lawrence, I went to buy a Game Boy Pocket. They didn't have any because they were still relatively new, but they had the original Game Boy, that big beige brick. And I spent like $20 on it or something, some absurdly small amount of money, and I think I got a couple of games with it. One I think was Turok for the Game Boy, and the other was the Donkey Kong. It was not the original arcade game, but it's like this expanded Donkey Kong game. And it wouldn't be until a few years later that I actually got Pokemon. But yeah, that was the very first console I spent with my own money.
The first console I ever bought with my own money was an original Xbox.
Ah.
Because I remember, yeah. Because I remember my first job that I ever had, like the first paycheck I got, I went out and I bought an original Xbox. And I played Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game rules.
And I played that game for hours, and I swung around the city for just hours on end and would not stop. Freaking loved that game.
That game
That was the
so
first game
well
I ever
designed.
bought with my own money.
Mine, I'm never going to forget this because the first console I ever bought for myself was the Nintendo Wii, and I bought it with my graduation money when I graduated out of high school. I wanted to get a Wii for my college dorm, so I used my money I got for graduation. The funny thing about it is, like, I mostly got it for like Smash Bros and stuff, but like that was also my first chance at playing a lot of games I couldn't as a kid. It was the first time I played Castlevania 4. It was the first time I played Link to the Past, which, you know, despite being like one of the best Zelda games, it's one of the last ones I ever got to because I played the Game Boy ones, I played the N64 ones. I couldn't play the Super Nintendo one until I got it for the Wii.
Yeah. That was the only way, because I never had a SNES either. The only way that I was able to play Link to the Past was the Game Boy Advance version, which I remember being very frustrated with because it's really a lot harder than, say, Link's Awakening or Ocarina of Time. And then it wasn't until a few years ago that I found out that the Game Boy Advance one is actually harder. The original SNES version is apparently much easier and much more lenient on you, and the advanced version just ups the difficulty for some reason. I don't know
So
what it is.
I've never played the GBA version, but it sounds like it's probably something equivalent to like Master Quest for the Ocarina of Time, like just a harder version.
It must be. I had heard some people say that the GBA version, the difficulty is harder for whatever reason, like the enemies do more damage, or your sword doesn't have quite the same like length because it'll go like this far in the original SNES version, but only goes this far in the GBA version, and apparently that like changes the dynamic because Link doesn't have as much of a range. I don't know. I had heard some people say that the advanced version is harder, but that was the first way I ever played Link to the Past.
I never played Link to the Past because I'm a rebel.
How dare
I'm a rebel. But
Without a
wow,
cause.
man.
And then, of course, I have my original. This actually isn't.
I still got my
original.
copy too.
Yeah, this isn't actually my original copy though. My original
What did I play
copy
first?
somehow, and I've always suspected that. Well, I've not always, but I've recently suspected this. My original copy disappeared between when my folks moved from like the townhome to the house that they live in, and I don't know where it went. My original copy of Pokemon. It's around somewhere, but I got
Which
this
one did you play first? Blue?
Yeah.
Same.
Okay.
It's funny, like I played blue, yellow, and gold, and then I just never touched another Pokemon game until like Y.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just fell out of it. I did not do a lot of GBA and DS gaming. I think it's just because that age in high school, there were some games that I had a GBA, I had a DS, but like I'm trying to think of what I even played back then. Like I had Mario Advance 2, had Mega Man Zero 2. I had the first like 4 Battle Network games, but like I didn't really get back into GBA and DS until much later.
Yeah, Mega Man Battle Network.
Yeah, 1 through 4.
Yeah.
I never got
Yeah,
5 and 6 until much later.
I played like one of those.
Collective Effervescence is asking
Probably the
if we
first one.
if we ever played the Zelda game where you play as Zelda. I believe it was called Zelda's Adventure, and it was for the CDI, the Philips CDI.
Oh, the CDI games.
Oh my god!
Never played them.
That was a thing.
Yeah. Wand of
Nintendo
Gamelon.
appreciates you forgetting. They want you to forget that's a thing.
Yeah. Zelda's Adventure, Wand of Gamelon, and I can't remember what the third one was.
There were 3?
Yeah,
there were
there
2.
were 3.
Huh.
That's probably why they won't make like a female Link. I bet.
No, they've made a female Link. Her name is Linkle.
Wasn't that just what fans were calling Link in Breath of the Wild when it first came out in commercials?
Yeah. They didn't actually.
Oh, by the way, the third one's called Link: The Faces of Evil.
Oh yeah, that one.
Zelda's Adventure, Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon, and Link: The Faces of Evil.
So yeah, Hyrule Warriors, if you can't see that, allows you to play as Linkle, I thought.
I don't know Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors is garbage.
No, it's not. It's fun.
It's garbage.
No, it's not.
It's garbage.
You get
The only
fight...
Warriors
You're
game,
right.
only Warriors game that matters is Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, I stand corrected. I'm looking at the pictures now. Never seen this character model before.
It's Linkle.
The only Warriors game that counts is Dynasty Warriors.
Well, yeah, Hyrule Warriors is Dynasty Warriors with the Zelda.
Yeah, I know it is.
Job. Yeah,
that's why I'm clowning it, because you can't hold a candle to.
Ooh.
You must not pursue Lu Bu.
Din Scourge, I never played Network Chip Challenge. Never tried that one. I've only ever touched 1 through 4. I'll get to 5 and 6 someday. I've got the collection on Switch, but yeah, no.
Oh,
I don't know much about Battle Chip Challenge.
Sorry, you're talking about Mega Man. I thought you were talking about Chips Challenge, the PC game from back in the day.
No, Din Scourge. What about Battle Network Chip Challenge? Nope, never played it. Basically, it's to Mega Man what Pokemon trading card game is to the Pokemon games. It's just like a spin-off. It's its own thing. You kind of ignore it.
See, I've actually heard some people say
Battle
that...
Network?
Yeah, Battle...
No. Okay. There's a Battle Network series. They had a couple spin-off games. One for the GameCube and one for the GBA called Battle Chip Challenge, like that. And I'm saying I never touched it. It's some spin-off game that's... And the GameCube one, I think, was Network Transmission, which not fun to play, I've heard.
We might need to wrap this up soon, fellas, because there's...
Okay.
I believe it's 10 o'clock where Sean is.
It is.
Mm-hmm. And it's
by the way, I've been working on a new model. So I got the head and the body done.
Is that
still need to do the arms and legs?
Is that why?
Mega Man in some kind of suit where he's probably taking over the powers of somebody?
This is X3's ultimate armor. Basically, you get all the armor pieces. You get all the hyper chip, the golden armor. Mm-hmm. So this is probably the most OP Mega Man X armor in all the games.
Yeah, I remember because what game was it? There's one game where you can get the armor at the beginning of the game.
Cheat codes, sure. For X4, you could do that. Get the ultimate armor at the beginning, but
was it a cheat code?
For X4, yeah.
I just remember going like there's the first stage and like you go in there and then you hop in a little, what do we call it?
3 a.m. in
Capsule,
Europe.
yeah, and then you just get the full on armor like right off the bat.
Yep, that was a cheat code.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know X4 like the back of my hand. Yeah, that's the capsule where you would normally get the boots. If you type in a special code, you get the ultimate armor for X or the black armor for 0.
It's 3 a.m. in Europe right now, Elijah.
That was X4?
Elijah, you go to bed, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
man.
Yeah, that was an X4.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I owned X4. I remember that. Yeah.
X4 was the one that had this armor.
Aha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love these Mega Man models.
Jim loves
With
to build
the terrible anime cutscenes.
What am I fighting for?
Yeah. What am I fighting you? What am I even fighting for?
There is something special about just that era of gaming when they finally could
That
do
era of
animated
dub,
cutscenes and the voice acting. Like, God, you were almost a Jill sandwich.
Oh God, Resident Evil.
That era of anime dubbing, I don't know. Like, it was like I don't even understand. It's like it was like they were either taking it way too seriously or not seriously enough.
One of the extremes. It was one of the extremes.
Probably the reason why I don't watch dubs. Just saying.
Yeah,
Subs
because
over
dubs
dubs.
dubs are so much better now.
Well, because they have actual voice actors doing the dubs.
Yeah.
Like
Who
real
know what
voice
they're doing.
actors.
Like My Hero
The
Academia,
only-
the dub for that is amazing.
The only time I can think of where I've seen dubs that I really enjoyed, Cowboy Bebop and Full Metal Alchemist. All the others, I don't know. But I think it's because those are far enough removed from, like, Japanese culture, if you will, that it's like, yeah, they work as fantasy or sci-fi shows, but like most slice of life shows, they're so Japanese that hearing them dubbed, it just doesn't work with me. Like, I gotta watch them in Japanese. It feels weird.
Yeah, I'm the
I
exact
don't know.
opposite. I only watch everything in dub. I hate watching it in Japanese. It annoys me.
For the like,
Because the Japanese look here's what I'm gonna explain why. When I'm watching an anime in Japanese, they tend to make noises that are just either grossly inappropriate
I know
or
exactly
just-
what you're talking about.
or just entirely unnecessary. Like
Ara.
they'll get like punched in the gut. They'll be like.
Or you'll just switch between several different characters, and then all of a sudden,
and it's,
Oh yeah, no, an ellipsis in voice acting actually is a sound. It's
Yes.
a sound. There's not like silence. No. You have to voice your ellipses.
like, yeah, it's just those noises over and over again. It's
or it's the entirely inappropriate noises, where it's like, "What are you watching?" It's like, man, I'm not watching what you think I'm watching. it's just her voice
See,
is
I get
incredibly
where
high
you're coming
pitched.
from.
I'm watching tennis. That's what I'm
But-
doing.
Her voice
At the
is
same
incredibly
time-
unnecessarily high pitched. She's just
Now,
playing soccer.
At the same time, though, like, to me, if I hear a Japanese girl say Nissan, that sounds normal to me. But to hear an English girl go Big Brother sounds really weird to me. Culturally, it just doesn't mesh.
Well, see,
the
that's why I don't
same.
watch those anime.
Exactly.
I'm not just talking about those anime, but like literally in slice of life, you refer to like your older sibling or younger sibling with that. Like, unless you're using their actual name, it's just the norm. Like literally every show does it, and it's just like I get it
and
culturally.
You know what? I'm
sure.
gonna straight up tell you this. I'm gonna be real with you. I legitimately don't think that they talk that way in actual Japan.
Oh, probably not.
I refuse
there's
to believe
some
that they
things-
actually refer to each other as Nissan or whatever in actual Japan. Because think about it. When's the last time, like, if you have any siblings, like I don't think you guys have any siblings.
Jim's
I
got
do
a
have a little
Like,
sister.
Jim, yeah. It's like, when's the last time you've referred to your little sister as little sister instead
That's
of
my
hey,
point, Ron.
little sister's
That's
name?
my point because we don't do that in Western culture. That's why it sounds
but
weird
I
to me
don't
to hear
think
that dub.
I don't think they do that in Japan either.
Look at the chat. The honorifics, culturally doesn't translate at all. It's
yeah,
weird.
I don't think they use the honorifics in Japan either.
But they
though. I'm
do.
gonna be real with you,
Sean. There's like a dozen ways.
I don't believe it,
Sean. There are like a dozen. Sean, shut the fuck up. There's like a dozen ways to say the word "you" depending on the context. That matters to them.
That's you. That's stuff like you or like those are pronouns. Not like little brother, big brother.
No, it's all there.
Quick.
Like
real quick.
Yeah, what?
Hands up those who have actually lived in Japan.
When did you live in Japan?
I lived in Japan for like a year in like 2004, 2005.
Mm-hmm. Just saying.
It's like I never heard anybody. I never heard anybody actually talk to their younger siblings with older, like say older brother or younger sister or older sister. Like they were always just like, "Hey, name."
Well, apparently they don't as much anymore. Younger generations of Japanese folks tend to westernize. Lol. And yeah, that's another thing that like I've even seen this in Duolingo. They've recently like updated to do more modern. Like there's a lot of things where the Japanese more often use the English words than the Japanese words, or variation thereof. But like no, like that stuff is part of their heritage. Like yeah, anime definitely exaggerates things. Like there are certain words where be like, hey, you see this word that you hear in anime a lot? Never use that word in real life. That's just like a silly fictional, over the top, cartoony word that you wouldn't use in real life. But that's not the same thing in this context. But
which is why I'm like, this is why I think it's like it's weird. It's like it doesn't sound like that's why it doesn't sound right in English because it's like it doesn't sound right in Japanese either.
And we're doing fine, Comp. Thank
I
you.
would ask people who actually are Japanese about that if I knew any in front of me. But like, I don't buy that that's a thing that they only do in anime. I don't. Like some things, sure. Over the top superhero-y stuff, yeah, of course. We do the same thing in our media with over the topness. But that's like in literally every slice of life. All of them. And I think it's just one of those things that Japanese has a lot more with honorifics, has a lot more, cultural situations that we don't do in Western civilizations. That's why it sounds weird and dumb.
I'm telling you.
Senpai,
no.
the same thing.
Senpai should we be doing this?
I'm telling you, no. It's like, no. Like, maybe that was like a thing that they used to, like, it's like saying everybody in anime right now is talking how everybody used to talk in like 1950. It would
Someone
be like
older than you as social spirit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's like if somebody. No. I'm saying like anime characters talk to each other like the same way like American people probably talk to each other in like the 1930s. Like it's like that's the comparison is what I'm trying to say. It's like current day anime characters are talking to each other the same way that Americans would have talked to each other in like the 1930s.
Collective effervescence.
I don't know the amount of anime where I see people talk
think...
about social media. I don't buy that.
Collective effervescence is like I love that this has devolved into a language.
No,
discussion.
it's just like no, it's like when's the last time you heard any American call somebody mother? It's like hello, mother. It's like, no, it's like, yo, ma.
Ma.
Depends.
Yo, ma.
Because I do know some people, but it's very rare, yes.
Like
but there are some people I do know who refer to the parents. Yeah. I had a cousin who did that.
It's mother and father are just not really terms that people use. Yeah. It's not the colloquial.
Unless you're doing it like ironically.
Right.
Or like, you know what I mean? It's like nobody's running around calling their big brother unless they're doing it like ironically.
See, again, English. That's English for you, man. I mean, Elijah brought up here it's something in French with tu and vous. Yeah, Spanish, same thing, right? You got, well, depending on which country's version of Spanish, you got the tu and you got vosotros, So it's like some places the word you use depends on singular or plural.
See, no, that's
gender
not
terms,
the same thing.
Honorifics.
That's not the same thing. Tu and vous, those are like versions of pronouns. We're talking about honorifics, calling somebody like Like an honorific isn't the same thing as
Same
calling
kind of
somebody
logic, though.
you or him or her. Like him, her, those aren't honorifics. Honorific
You know that
would
in
be
Japanese-
like, my lord.
Did you know that,
That
in
would be
Japanese
an
there are actually
honorific.
different words for mother and father based on whether you're talking to your mother and father or talking about your mother and father? Like you wouldn't use
Yeah, we have
Kichi
that
and
here
haha
too.
in the
We
same
have
way.
that
No,
here
I'm
too.
talking about like
Mother,
that's not what I'm-
father, mama,
No, Sean,
papa,
you're not listening. That's not what I'm saying.
Ma.
That's not what I'm saying. If you'd listen, I'm saying the difference between how you talk to them versus how you refer to them are two different words for that
Yeah.
context.
We have that
I'm not
here
talking
too.
about- That's not the same as mom and ma. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying the word you would use to say mom to your mom versus the word you would use for mom talking to someone else about your mom are two different words.
That was for
Not
Kat.
like mother, mom, mama. I'm not talking about that. The word is actually a different word based on the context of who you are talking to.
So is
about your
ma
mom.
and mother.
No, you don't. That's not.
Yeah,
what I'm-
huh? Yeah, no. Who versus like
Sean?
who is your mother versus that's
Who
my
is your mom? Sean, you would say who is my mother, who is your mother, or who is your mom. Those have the same level. There's like
No,
there's
it's
not a
not.
difference there.
We're talking about
Who's your
official.
mom?
We're talking about official. Like if somebody like at a hospital, for instance, at a hospital, if they were asking me mother's maiden name, they would ask,
No,
"What's your
I'm not
mama's maiden
talking
name?"
formality. I'm
Yes,
not
you
talking
are.
about formality. No, I'm
yes,
not.
you are. You're talking about different situations in which people refer to someone. That's a
I'm not
formality.
talking formality. No. I'm not talking formality. I'm saying you use kasan to talk about, hey mom, I'm talking to you, versus haha, versus like you don't. If you call your mom that word, that doesn't work. That's what makes
Yeah,
Spy
exactly
Family so
the
funny
same
'cause
thing.
She does it.
I wouldn't walk up to my mother and go, "Mother." I would go up
But
to
you
her and say,
could.
"Ma."
It would sound formal to you, but you could.
Yeah,
but it's not the
exactly.
same
That's
thing.
the point I'm trying to make.
That's not the same thing, though.
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, how do I describe this to you? Because it's not coming through. It's not what I'm saying at all.
You're thinking an honorific is different from what it actually is. Honorifics are
That's not-
for formality. There's different
Yeah, I'm not
settings
describing
in
an
which you use.
honorific.
Yes,
what
you
I'm saying is
are.
like the difference between. What I'm saying is like the difference between, I don't know, freaking. What's the way to describe this to you?
Wait.
It's like the
Haha
difference
is an
between.
honorific. It's not a.
It's
It's
like the
not an
difference-
actual. It's not a different.
It's like the difference
version
between
of
fog
word.
and a cloud.
It's not. That's not what haha versus kasan is.
That's how it was described to me. What was that?
That's not what it is.
What
Ian,
is
stop
that?
it. Ian, stop it. We get it.
Okay, so this has gone on way too long. I
But
had
it's
to
fun.
do that.
No,
Why you got to ruin the
you
fun?
didn't. We were already done.
Okay, so now then, thank you everybody for joining us. I think we're gonna have to cut it here. This has been
No, we could go on for another 20, 30 minutes.
I
Now
would-
we're going to talk.
Uh,
now what we're going to talk about
If you want to ask
is-
questions, you got to come earlier to the live streams, Comp. I'm sorry, we missed like 3 of your questions.
Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about let's see here. We're gonna talk about Star Trek again.
real quick. Hang on, I'm just gonna click.
Oh no, you know what we're gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about Star Trek. No, not Star Trek. We're gonna talk about Star Wars. No, we're gonna
Ian,
talk about
what are you
Indiana
doing? I
Jones.
thought you were closing it.
Oh, I'm
We're gonna talk about
well,
Indiana Jones and how Dial of Destiny sucked.
I was trying to I was trying to kick Sean out of the chat, but I don't know how to do that.
You can't do it. We're gonna talk about how Dial of Destiny sucked for like 30 minutes.
Sean, I think Ian wants to go to bed.
I think we are having. Well, I'm having to get up early tomorrow for various reasons.
Boo! You guys suck.
But anyway,
Actually, I got
But
something
Dial
to
of
do at 9,
Destiny
so.
did suck though.
I just.
Just to save you guys money.
But anyway, worst game, Star Fox Adventures. Least favorite console, the Ouya. There you go.
Have you even played an Ouya?
I played it for a little bit and I didn't like it.
It's not the worst console ever.
It might be.
The worst console
Not as bad
ever
as
was
the
an
Virtual Boy.
N-Gage.
Oh God.
What about the Virtual Boy?
Okay, we have to end this, y'all. It has been a great.
Oh
time.
yeah, Virtual Boy did suck.
It has been a great time chatting with you all. Thank you all so much for coming to the stream. We're going to do this again, possibly either next week or in a couple of weeks. But also, for those of you who stuck around, Tuesday I'm going to be posting a new episode, and it is a honest episode about Nintendo again, and some of the stuff that they've been doing with Tears of the Kingdom. Just FYI. Thought you might... You still have your little silver button. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, we still...
That's right.
Yeah, and to answer questions, no, we don't know when the WotC episode is coming out.
Oh. So I need to... I basically just need to spend a week and do a bunch of episodes, but I also have a family event that is coming up this week, so I might be a bit... Yeah. I might be a bit absent next weekend, but on Tuesday we will have the new episode, and you all are awesome, wonderful people, and I absolutely appreciate everyone who stuck around.
And as soon as we get the WotC script, I will record it.
Yes. And also...
And then you will all watch it and love it.
Everyone have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you all for coming.